feels like addiction, it's not divine union. So I want to say something that might make some people feel quite uncomfortable. And it's this. If your twin flame connection feels like withdrawal, every time they disappear, that is, then that's not divine. That's your nervous system. And I say this as someone who is trained in psychology, but most importantly, I say this as someone who has been where you are right now. I've been the woman that has been pulled away from. I've been the woman that has been crying on the floor for hours on end, or lying in bed crying myself to sleep night after night after night, checking my phone every 10 minutes, replaying his conversations, trying to find the exact sentence where things changed. And I remember telling myself, this must mean it's really deep, because everything felt intense, because everything was all-consuming, and because it all felt bigger than logic, something that couldn't be understood, something mystical, something magical. And I'm not saying that it isn't magical. The twin flame journey is very mystical and magical, but here's what I didn't understand at the time, and that is that inconsistency actually creates obsession. You know, when someone is loving one week and then they're distant the next, when they say they feel it too, but then they disappear, your body doesn't actually know what's happening. And so it goes into a state of alert. And then when they come back, you know, when they message, or when they suddenly say they miss you, all of a sudden you feel relief. And that relief feels like love. But it's only relief. It's actually your body coming down or calming down after it's been on edge. And if you ever notice this pattern, you'll recognize it, because you feel absolutely awful when they pull away. But then when they come back, you feel completely euphoric. You're going from one end of the spectrum to the other. And then you feel anxious again. And then you feel hopeful again. And this is what happened to me every time we had periods of non-communication, and then we would communicate. Now, in the long run, that roller coaster starts to feel meaningful. But what it actually is unstable. Love doesn't have to feel like survival. Now let me say this again. Love does not have to feel like survival. I used to believe that calm meant boring. If I wasn't anxious or longing or overthinking, then I thought something was missing. But I realized that I'd confused intensity with depth. A healthy connection does not make you lose sleep. It does not make you question your sanity. And it certainly does not make you feel like you are constantly about to lose something. It might stretch you, because that's what growing is. It might challenge you, but you need that to grow. But it definitely will not destabilize your mental health. And this is where twin flame culture can be very dangerous, because it tells you that the chaos is sacred, but it's not. It tells you that running is a part of the process, you know, that the silence is spiritual growth, and that the confusion is divine timing. But I'm here to tell you in all honesty and sincerity that confusion is not clarity. Anxiety is not enlightenment. And gaslighting is definitely not a lesson. Whatever happens, it should help you grow and not shrink you. So let me give you something practical. Ask yourself this. When you're in this connection, do you feel steady most of the time, or are you bracing? Do you feel chosen, or are you waiting to be chosen, like I was? Do you feel relaxed in your body, or do you feel tight? Your body tells the truth long before your mind catches up. I've worked with so many women who say, and men, who say, but the connection is so strong. And yes, it is. I believe them. I've been there. I know it is. The intensity is real. But intensity doesn't automatically mean alignment. Sometimes it means the connection is hitting an old wound. Sometimes it means you're trying to win the love that just is out of reach, that feels out of reach. And that chase is very, very powerful until it completely exhausts you. And here's the part nobody says. If they came back tomorrow and you're still anxious, would you still monitor them? Would you still feel fear of losing them? Would you still continue to overthink their tone? Because the problem was never just their absence. It was the way your system was reacting to uncertainty. And that is nothing shameful. It's human. But it is your work. The real twin flame journey, if we're going to call it that, is not about getting them back. It's about becoming steady enough that you don't collapse when they pull away. It's about being able to love without losing yourself. It's about being able to say, I care about you deeply, but I will not destroy my peace to keep you. Now that's power, and that is the true meaning of taking your power back. That's also maturity, and that is what awakening is. And here's what I know both personally and professionally. When you become steady, you stop chasing chaos. You start choosing consistency. And suddenly, the kind of connection that once felt boring starts to feel safe. And safe starts to feel attractive. And that is when everything changes. If you're in separation right now and you feel like you're withdrawing from a drug, then please hear me. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are just simply activated. And activation can be easily regulated. That's the work that you need to do. It's not manifesting them, it's not decoding signs, it's not watching tarot readings for reassurance. It's regulating your nervous system. Because when you become steady, you can finally see clearly. And clarity is what creates real union, not obsession. The link is in